Out of the 40 teachers who were originally contacted to participate in the study, 23 ended up completing the survey. They included 2 regular education teachers, 8 special education teachers, mostly consisting of autistic support teachers, 11 special area teachers, and 2 teachers who identified themselves as other, who are a physical education teacher and a curriculum coordinator who happens to be an art teacher. When analyzing all of the results for the question of how well equipped teachers feel to teach students with autism, the answers ranged from 1 to 10. The mean was 6.03, the median 7, and the mode 7. The same question was then broken down in order to look at answers specifically from special education and special area teachers. The results were higher for special education teachers with a mean of 8.38, a median of 8.5, and a mode of 8. The results for special area teachers was lower across the board compared to special education teachers and the overall responses. The mean was 5.09, the median 6, and the mode 6. The 6th question, my district provides professional development to help me program for students with autism, again had a range of answers. 5 individuals said strongly disagree, 6 said somewhat disagree, 3 said neither agree or disagree, 8 people said somewhat agree, and only 1 person selected strongly agree, making somewhat agree the highest percentage. 6 out of the 8 special education teachers who completed the questionnaire answered agree for this question, with 5 saying somewhat agree and 1 saying strongly agree. The other 2 teachers answered strongly disagree and neither agree or disagree. No one out of the 11 special area teachers answered strongly agree for this question. 4 chose strongly disagree, 3 chose somewhat disagree, 1 selected neither agree or disagree, and 3 selected somewhat agree. Teachers were asked to share how they learned about working with students with autism. 11 teachers selected undergraduate, 14 selected graduate level, 11 teachers said workshops, 2 answered seminars, 1 teacher chose webinars, 4 teachers selected journals, and 9 teachers chose other. For the answer other, 4 teachers wrote experience, 1 said student teaching, 1 said the IEP teacher, and 2 said trial and error. Of the 8 special education teachers, 50% selected undergraduate level, 87.5% answered graduate level, 75% said workshops, 25% answered seminars, 12.5% selected webinars, 25% said journals, and the other answers included student teaching and job experience. Of the 11 special area teachers, 36.36% selected undergraduate level, 45.45% answered graduate level, 36.36% said workshops, no one selected seminars or webinars, 9.09% said journals, and the other answers included experience, IEP teachers, and online research. When the 23 participants were asked to answer who they consulted about students with autism, 78.26% selected case manager. 69.57% said the autistic support teacher. 30.43% answered social worker. 34.78% selected speech therapist. 52.17% answered a special education teacher. 21.74% selected occupational therapist. 17.39% said a physical therapist. And for the question other, answers ranged from the principal, parents, team members, and any teacher or staff member who has worked with the particular student. For the 8 special education teachers, 62.5% said case manager, 50% said autistic support teacher, 87.5% said social worker, 87.5% said speech therapist, 37.5% said special education teacher, 62.5% selected occupational therapist, 50% answered physical therapist, and for the answer other, responses included the behavior analyst, school psychologist, and parents. For the 11 special area teachers, 81.82% said case manager, 81.82% said autistic support teacher, 0% said the social worker, 9.09% said the speech therapist, 44.55% said the special education teacher, 0% for both the occupational therapist as well as the physical therapist, and for the answer other, responses included team members and staff members who have taught the student. When analyzing the qualitative questions, the answers were looked at and common words or phrases were accounted for. For question 9, how could you be better supported as a teacher working with students with autism, 9 individuals selected workshops, 4 teachers answered more paraprofessionals in the classroom, and finally 5 individuals answered knowing more about the student beyond what the IEP includes. The information was broken down to look more closely at special area teachers compared to special education teachers. For special area teachers, 4 wanted workshops, 4 selected paras in the room, and 2 selected student information. For special education teachers, only 2 selected workshops, 1 selected more time with therapists and psychologists, and 1 requested more student information. Question 10. Have you experienced any challenges when helping students with autism work through hands-on projects? 2 teachers responded with students with autism having a difficult time following directions. 3 stated that a lack of fine motor skills made completing a project challenging. 3 said that students with ASD had a hard time visualizing the end product because they are too linear. And 2 teachers stated that they had difficulty figuring out how to modify the project. The other challenges included perfectionism, a paraprofessional doing most of the project for a student with autism, and the frustration of a student getting in the way of them completing the project. Question 11. What strategies or modifications have you used to help students with autism work through hands-on projects? 3 teachers answered the hand-over-hand technique. 6 said providing the student with step-by-step directions. 6 answered that they modified or simplified the project. And 6 said that they had introduced new materials or additional items to assist the student in completing the project. This varied from specialty scissors to lightweight volleyballs. Here is a breakdown of the special education and special area teachers. 2 special education teachers wrote about the hand-over-hand technique. 1 said that they would team up a student with autism with another regular ed student. 1 said they would modify the project, and 3 said they would break down the steps. For the special area teachers, 3 said they would simplify the project, and 4 said that they would introduce specialty equipment. Question 12. What equipment have you included in your classroom to help accommodate a student on the spectrum? For this question, 4 teachers answered the introduction of technology, and 2 teachers said that they would use different equipment. Question 13. What items have you removed from the classroom as an accommodation? 5 teachers answered that they removed items that could be dangerous, and 1 teacher removed an item, specifically a timer, because the noise aggravated one of his or her students. Question 14. How have you adjusted the layout of your room to accommodate students with autism? 2 teachers chose a layout where there was more space to move around. 1 teacher added a desk to his or her classroom because a student liked to work alone. 1 teacher answered that they created a room with minimal distractions. And finally, 6 teachers said they were strategic about where they sat their student, making sure they were away from distractions and close to the point of instruction. Question 15. How have students with autism spectrum disorder had a difficult time working within groups? 4 teachers stated that there were issues with communication. 2 said students with autism had a difficult time taking turns. 2 teachers said that students on the spectrum were not willing to compromise, and 4 teachers said that a lack of social skills interfered with group work. Question 16. What has helped reduce the anxieties of students with autism in the classroom? 5 teachers credited talking to the student directly. 4 said providing breaks. 3 teachers said setting routines and alerting the students when there was changes to the schedule. 2 said getting to know the students and their interests, and 3 stated being calm. Question 17. How do you handle disruptive behavior? 4 teachers said that the paraprofessional handled the situation. 3 said they would contact the case manager. 2 stated that they followed the behavior plan. 2 said they tried to redirect the student. 6 stated that they tried to talk to the student. 2 said they tried to diffuse the situation. 8 said that they would remove the student from the room, sometimes allowing the student to take a walk or a break. And finally, 2 discussed, after the incident, discussing what the student should do next time they are in a similar situation. Looking at the data more closely, for special education teachers, 2 answered the behavior plan. 3 said a one-on-one discussion. 1 said a paraprofessional, and 1 said to redirect. For special area teachers, 3 said the paraprofessional. 3 said the case manager. 2 said to leave the room / take a walk, and 3 cited talking to the student. Question 18. How have you guided students when they work in groups? 3 teachers answered that they assigned the student a specific task. 3 said that they chose the groups carefully. 2 stated that they relied on other students to help. And finally, 1 teacher answered using the buddy system. 1 response to this question stated that preparing both groups of students is necessary, meaning that both the student with autism and the other members of the group must be understanding in order for the group to be successful. Question 19. How do you help students with autism spectrum disorder navigate socially? 1 teacher answered using a behavioral chart. 6 teachers said discussing the correct behavior. 1 teacher said the importance of using visual reminders. And finally, 1 teacher answered direct social skills.